What do you do when you have to solve a programming question? Do you directly code it? No, that's not how you do it. You prepare your solution first and then you code it. And the preparation part is usually much longer than the coding part. And what do I mean by preparation? You understand your question, you think about the edge cases, you think about your time complexity, and then you go ahead and write code. And the preparation part can be done on a piece of paper. So if you can't solve it on paper, you can't solve it with code. Even in interviews, you'll spend most of your time preparing for your solution rather than actually coding it. But how do you write it on paper? That's where flowcharts come in. Let's say you want to build a car. You don't go ahead and think about the entire car. You break it down into simple steps and perform one step at a time, and by the end of it, you get a car. Similarly for flowcharts, I like to think of them like assembly lines, where in each step you do one simple task, and by the time your flowchart ends, you have your desired solution. These are all the important symbols in a flowchart. The first is a start or a stop or a terminal symbol. Next we have the input-output symbol, the processing symbol, a decision symbol, and then lines to direct the flow. There are a few more symbols that you can read about, linked in the description. Let's say I have to write a program to take two numbers from the user and print their sum. So I begin with a start symbol. I then take two variables A and B input from the user. I then process a C variable which will be equal to the sum of A plus B. I then output the C variable and end the flowchart. Pretty simple, right? So why don't you go ahead and pause the video and write one to some three numbers, A, B, C. Cool? Let's move ahead. Next, we have the decision box. So the decision box has two outputs, a true and a false. We can check any condition. If it is true, we can go in one direction, and if it is false, we can go in another direction. So let's say I want to see if a student has passed a class. So first of all, I write the start symbol. I read marks from the user. I then write a decision. If the marks are greater than 60, we will write pass, else we will write fail, and we'll end the program. Seems pretty simple, right? Cool. How about you write a flowchart where you take two numbers input from the user and print A is bigger if the first number is bigger, or B is bigger if the second number is bigger. I hope you were able to do that. Did you know that we can use this decision symbol to run loops as well? How? Let's see how we'll print 10 numbers from 1 to 10. We'll start with the start symbol. We'll initialize a variable n to 1, and then we'll check if n is less than or equal to 10. If it is less than or equal to 10, we'll print n and then increase its value by 1. And then we'll go back to the decision box. We'll check again. It is still less than 10, and we'll keep on printing this. We'll print 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, and then n will become 11. We'll go back to the decision box, check that n is 11, and then go to the false condition where we'll end the program. So like this, we were able to print the first 10 numbers. So can you take n from the user and print numbers from 1 to n? How about you write a flowchart to print the sum of numbers from 1 to n? That would be a little difficult. Here's a hint. Keep another variable as sum and initialize it with 0. And how about you write a flowchart where you print the first 10 multiples of a given number n? It will follow a similar pattern. And lastly, as a homework, try to write a flowchart to print every prime number from 1 to n, and also print the first 100 elements of the Fibonacci sequence. And that was Intro to Programming with flowcharts. We'll start with C++ from the next video. You know, I use C++ for my interview with Google. And if you want to know the complete experience, then check this video right here. And I'll see you very soon.